So we're going to be going over how we can add real-time updates to our application using subscriptions. So what's going to happen is every time an auction is created, this list auctions query is going to be updated across all the different people that are using the website. So how can we do this? Well, there's a function that we get here called subscribe to more that we can call. Now we want to call this once at the beginning when this first renders, and we want to call it once at the end when it's done to unsubscribe. So to do this, I kind of need to be able to get a lifecycle method of some sort to call this. I'm going to be using a hook for this, and I'm going to create a new folder here, which I'm going to call components. And in components, I'm going to just create kind of like a utility component. I'm going to call it onMount.tsx, and this is going to be a React hook. And here I'm going to say onMount. And this is going to take some props. And all it's going to do is it's going to return null. And we're going to take these props and we're going to import here use effect. And what we're going to say is we're just going to say use effect, and we're going to call the function, which we're going to say on effect. And we only want to call this once when it mounts and when it dismounts. So I'm going to put a curly brackets, or sorry, just regular brackets there. And then I'm going to say on effect. So what on effect is going to be, if I hop into the types React hooks, I can see the create looks like this. So I'm just going to copy that type definition there and paste it there. And I'm going to say on effect here. So the whole point of this is now in my auctions, I can render a onMount, and it's going to call this function. And by the way, this is a bad name. I want my components to start with a capital letter. So onMount. And no, onMount and onMount. And I'm just going to pop over here and make that uppercase too. Alright, so awesome. So now I can say on effect, and now I can just pass in a effect function. So alright, what do I want my function to do? Well, we're going to call subscribe to more and unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Alright, unsubscribe. Okay, I think I spelled that right. And there should be an equal sign. So we're going to put some stuff inside of the subscribe to more, so we tell it how to subscribe. Then what it's going to do is it's going to return us an unsubscribe function, and we can call that when we unmount. So we can say unsubscribe like that. We can also shorten it if we want to just this. We can also shorten it even more and just put subscribe to more and return that, because that returns a unsubscribe. So this is like the simplest version of it we can make. And then what are we going to put here? Well, there's actually a function called build subscription, and this comes from AppSync. So that's right here, build subscription. And I'm going to move this import to the top. And what we can do here is actually pass in the information that we want. And it's going to simplify kind of what we normally have to put into this function. So here we're going to pass in the subscription. So we're going to say on auction created, or on create auction. And where the heck is this coming from? Well, if we go to our GraphQL folder subscriptions, we can see the on create auction is what we're going to be using. And so I'm going to move this back over here. And second one is what are we going to be updating? So we're going to say list auction. And then lastly here, I don't even think we need to pass that in actually. We'll see if it's met. I think it just wants us to pass in the ID, which I don't think we need. Alright, so let's see what this looks like now. So I have on the left and the right two versions of the website open. We'll do the same version, but they're both open. We can refresh both, make sure everything's good. And now when I add something over here, or I add something over here, it's going to update this guy over here, even though they're totally different React instances. And that's because of subscriptions. So I'm going to say peach, and we're going to say $100 for this peach. And I'm going to submit it. And let's see it over here. We can see our peach. It's at the very bottom. And over here, I didn't really see it move. I saw like visibly over here kind of like shake a little bit. It didn't shake over here, but we can see the peach for $100 has appeared. All right, let's do the same thing over here. Let's add one. Let's get an apple for $10, and we say submit. And if you guys were watching, it kind of appeared over here, and we can see the apples there. So nice. So we have added subscriptions to our application. If we look at inspect, looks like we're not getting any errors. I can go ahead and get rid of this log. We don't really need it anymore. Yeah, and we're done. So pretty much what happens is when this component mounts for the first time, we are subscribing, and that way we're listening for new auctions that are created, and we're also going to unsubscribe when this gets unmounted. So that's sweet. And we're using hooks for this. Now the other thing I just wanted to mention, if we come over here, you might be getting an error. So if I restart this, it's going to restart the server, and it's going to try connecting, and it's not able to find the use effect that we're using over here from React. At least that's what happened with me. We'll see when this pops up, and the answer to that is, oh, it looks like it's working for me. So earlier, for whatever reason, it wasn't able to find this reacthooks.d.ts file, and it couldn't access it. If this happens with you, what I did is I just copied all this into the React app env and pasted it in here, and then that seemed to work for me. I'm not sure why it's working now and it wasn't working earlier, but if it happens to you where it doesn't recognize the use effect, you can paste it into this file here. I'm going to go ahead and keep it in both places. I'm not sure which one it's looking at, but just in case.